Burning deserts and massive mountain ranges, the state of Nevada in the American West is an uncompromising land. In this rugged landscape, men with their original rough-hewn characters live out their purest aspirations. Nevada is the site of the Burning Man Festival, a utopian space of ephemeral creations in the heart of the desert. The cowboy tradition is still alive and well in this state that can seem like a page out of the Old West. While in Las Vegas, the world's most intrepid daredevils vie with the eagles.
Oh, yeah! I love my job, I love my job.
Like the state itself, with its devil-may-care attitude, the inhabitants of Nevada are free spirits. Matt Schultz is heading up to Blackrock Desert, a 3-hour drive from his place. He lives in Reno, situated in a mountainous region in the northwest of Nevada near California. Matt is totally familiar with this road to Blackrock. He knows it will transport him to another world.
It feels like you're on another planet. This looks like Mars. And in that, there's this wonderful beauty. You can see the mountains and the way the earth was formed. And you can see the way the wind moves, the way it changes the soil. And so most of us see the ocean and the trees and the animals and the mountains as beauty. And I see the nothing as beauty here. It inspires me. And yeah, it's such a weird, amazing land.
Blackrock is not your ordinary desert. In this season, it's empty and barren like any other desert. But for 1 week a year, at the end of August, a huge crowd gathers here for a totally off-the-wall music and arts festival, Burning Man. For several years now, Matt has been creating works of art that he installs and exposes during the event. He often comes back to the site to soak up its particular atmosphere.
This desert is a lot like a blank canvas. It's just waiting for a painting. Yeah, it's hard to see how it doesn't change people's lives. It's as if you could feel the Earth's heart beating, the planet existing. It all started over there. And then just started making big art. It's funny to think that we built these giant art projects like maybe a mile that way, just in the middle. Just built these giant things, and there's nothing here. There's nothing left. It's all completely gone.
And yet, a few months earlier, during the festival, Burning Man is an out-of-the-box event. The first edition, held on a San Francisco beach in 1986, was organized by a group of 35 somewhat utopian friends. 4 years later, the organizers moved the event to Blackrock Desert. Now, over 70,000 people participate. Matt exposed his first work at Burning Man in 2012, a 100-meter-long jetty leading to the wreck of a Spanish galleon beached in the middle of the desert.
That was our first hit. I remember sitting inside of it and watching people come in, and they had this face like we had given them Christmas. Like a little kid when they run downstairs to see the presents under the tree.
Small talk and what?
When you think of the European explorers, they stood at the end of those piers wondering what was on the other end of the world. It was like getting onto a rocket and flying into space. I look like I'm 100, so it's kind of, yeah, well, whatever. And some photos. And the captain, who's acquired sunglasses at this point. So right next to Reno every year is a city that appears for a week called Blackrock City, and it's the home of Burning Man. This city is built around the art. It's not the art that's fit into the city. The city is made for the art. The city is the weirdest, strangest, loudest, quietest, most horrible, wonderful place ever made. And it is filled with monsters and assholes and hippies and lovers and musicians and tech giants and old rich bastards and young, poor, wonderful people. And they are all there for a week to be who they want to be.
Every year, the festival concludes with a euphoric ritual of destruction. They burn the huge effigy that is the symbol of Burning Man. All the other works go up in flames as well. Not a trace must remain.
And that's Burning Man. And there's nothing like it anywhere else.
Thanks to Burning Man, the city of Reno has been attracting the most extravagant and offbeat characters from all over the world. As a result, the artistic scene of this small city has been booming. Matt is the director of a creative space here, The Generator.
No. It does get louder. We played it like it's
Personally, I'm kind of viewing, I think the chaos is a little
Yeah, no, I'm down.
Today, they're shooting the latest music video of the group Bazooka Zoo.
It'll be cool to see what they make, and then, you know, it's really rad. This part of the generator is just for people to come in for the day and work on whatever. And this is whatever they're working on. A rad music video for a great band.
What are we doing here?
There are all sorts of projects being realized in this huge hangar. Monumental paintings and sculptures, works in metal, circus acts, performances, and art exhibits.
The Generator is a super community-oriented space to where anybody can really just create stuff. It's a beautiful place to be able to do that. Not many places do that in the world. And we're really thankful to have this kind of spot in Reno and be able to do this in Nevada and kind of have a center point and epicenter for all the arts that are especially going out to Burning Man to come here. It's a blessing. It's really cool.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Matt founded The Generator 2 years ago, and most of Reno's artistic projects gravitate around it.
I would say that he's a potentialist.
Yeah.
He maximizes the potential of himself and the people around him to be able to build what they dream.
Cut.
Yeah, way better.
You want to pose for the gun?
Yeah, let's, yeah. All right, so,
Safety.
let's try to get children out of the shot.
Right, huh?
Matt is a politically committed artist. He's trying to provoke a public reaction to recent incidents of police violence in the USA. He's asked Michel to help him construct the mock-up of his new piece.
I think a lot of people have a hard time identifying with what it feels like to have the police pull a gun on you, to have the police try to intimidate you because of the color of your skin or because of how much money you have. And you can't do much against the police when the rule of law doesn't apply to them. They break the law too, and they should be equally punished for breaking the law. But if a police officer can freely shoot a homeless man in the back and murder him and not get charges, this is not my worldview.
Matt grew up on the shores of Lake Tahoe, on the other side of the mountains around Reno. He was a solitary child who spent most of his time drawing. After working in advertising and animation in San Francisco, he gave it all up to travel through Asia and Africa. Then he settled in Reno. His father still lives near this lake of his childhood.
It's his first kiss was here.
No, it wasn't the first kiss. It was
well, you kissed that dolphin or something.
a dolphin, like a blow-up dolphin.
Maybe it was a fish.
No, I think Dad took me here when I was really little. This was pretty much the first beach I ever came to, and then we kept coming here till I was 15, 16, fairly consistently every summer, like probably every weekend.
Yeah.
For what, 16 years? 17 years.
And it's still our little meeting spot.
Yeah,
to this day.
This is the place that we always come to just hang out, meet, talk, look at girls, throw the frisbee, and like I said, we just come to swim here. My sister and I.
Yeah.
It's like this great place where the whole family would come.
We haven't done this in a while.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know if I can communicate that it's maybe 1 degree Celsius, the water. When I lost my stepdad 2 years ago, I kind of made a note to be better with my family, and I haven't been doing the best of jobs. So it's a chance to be with my family and kind of, be a better son. So, I mean, it's something I don't think a lot of people talk about, but when you do big projects and you pursue your dreams, sometimes you lose track of the people you care about the most. And they're gonna be there, or at least you think they're gonna be there. And so, if you go away for a couple of years, they're not gonna be mad, but then when they die, what do you do? It's the balance. It's that kind of yin and yang. Sometimes the madness of it all. Sometimes all the ideas and the people and the way we all spin about compels me. But sometimes I get spun too tight and I have to unspin. And so this is my spot where I slow down to stop before I get spun up again. And it's just, this is the only place I've always been. In my 35 years of life, this is the only place that is consistent. It's always like this. And when I fall asleep and I dream about the future, this is here, and it's just like this. And when I think about the past, this is here, and it's just like this. This is the spot that's me. All those other places are places I visit. This is the spot that if I had to say one place, there was one place that described me, this would be it.
Matt had a huge success at the 2014 Burning Man Festival with his piece, Embrace, his latest monumental work.
Embrace was the dream project. Embrace was this monument to love, to affection, to the people we care about, to the people who make us who we are. And we had this ridiculous idea that we wanted to build two people, two giant people, hugging. In November of 2013, we started building. And this took an army of volunteers. We had over 150 separate people work on the project. We worked for about 9 months to build it. And we just started from the top, and we worked our way down. So if we ran out of money, we could stop here. You know, one head was 10 meters tall, just one head. It could fit 20 to 30 people in it. In a head, like right here, there were little people that would walk around and look out the eyes. It was big, it was giant, a bit like a cathedral. But instead of thinking about the power of God, I wanted people to think about how strong they were together. And the whole structure was built to look like it grew there. Like these were giant tree people that twisted out of the ground and grew into these amazing creatures as they slowly hugged. Maybe they had been growing there for 500 years. And in another 500 years, they would finally fully embrace each other. And we lit it on fire. And watched the whole thing burn until there was nothing left. Oh.
Andy Hedges is a musician from Texas. He's 35 and is part of a young generation captivated by the cowboy culture. Now he's touring Nevada, driving on Highway 50, which Life magazine once called the loneliest road in America. Traveling this route, Andy is sure to find the genuine America, the America that he recaptures in his songs.
I love traveling. I love being on the road, and especially in a beautiful place like this in the middle of Nevada, away from the city and these big, wide open spaces. You can really kind of clear your mind out, and it's a great way to get ready for a gig, you know, and think about what you're gonna do. And yeah, I love it. There's something powerful about just letting this all pass by you and thinking about that on your way to play music. And it, I think, makes the performances better, makes the songs that much more powerful.
As he rolls along through Nevada on these long stretches of highway, Andy lets his mind wander, like the herds of wild mustangs galloping free across the Great Plains. The music that Andy likes is inspired by the myth of the cowboys and pioneers who built America. But Andy knows that this traditional way of life is inexorably disappearing, and he's fighting back with his guitar and his songs so that this culture, which is part of this country's history, doesn't fade into oblivion.
I wanted to be a cowboy when I was a kid, but when I was about 14 is when I discovered music and poetry, and that changed everything for me. That became my passion more than anything else, you know. Sun and Saddle Leather by Charles Badger Clark. I collect these classic cowboy poetry books, and I recite some poems from this book. And a lot of poetry has been set to music over the years, and some of the classic American cowboy songs were originally poems by Charles Badger Clark. It's great stuff. You could almost turn to any page and find something riding. There's some that like the city, grass that's curried smooth and green, theaters and strangling collars, wagon drawn by gasoline. But for me, it's horse and saddle every day without a change, and a desert sun a-blazing on 100 miles of range. Just a-riding, a-riding. Desert rippling in the sun, mountains blue along the skyline. I don't envy anyone when I'm riding.
Middlegate Station is one of the rare inhabited spots along Highway 50. The sign sums it up pretty well. The middle of nowhere, and proud of it.
I have no idea. Get a cup of coffee? Yes, you sure can.
In the 1860s, the mail was carried by horseback from the East Coast to the Pacific in 10 days. Middlegate was one of the 160 relay stations of what was called the Pony Express. And this place still feels like something out of the past.
So is the population really 17?
No, it fluctuates.
I was gonna ask what happened to the 18th person.
Yeah, no, I had 2 kids, so it went up and then it goes down. We have a lot of old people here.
Yeah. You born and raised here?
Raised, not born.
Yeah.
But you're a singer, right?
Yeah.
They just had a gigantic for our fundraiser. Yeah, it was.
So where do y'all set up and play back?
Oh, they take
back
the
in here?
tables out back there.
Okay, yeah.
Back there. My cousin went to Great Basic College there.
It's in places like Middlegate, lost in the heartland of America, that you can still hear authentic Western music.
Short saying this is nice weather for
Yeah.
outdoor. We got a guy plays here every Saturday night. Why we have prime rib and everything, and I've never seen a guy that knows so much random music. I mean, because he gets so many requests playing in a place like this that he's got to know everything. He was a diehard Grateful Dead and Rolling Stones guy. Beatles, loves the Beatles, but you know, out here we're like, play some country music. So he had to learn Johnny Cash, stuff he never thought he would in his entire life, just for the people. So it's actually a weird place that you think that music wouldn't exist, but it runs the place.
All right.
Oh man.
Well, I ride with my slicker and I ride all day. Pack along a bottle to pass the time away. And a hoop don't diddle them day and a leg and a hoop don't diddle them day.
Oh, I know a girl who's gonna leave her mother, and the devil down in hell would stir up such another. A hoop don't diddle them day, Emily, and a hoop don't diddle them day. Well, she rides on a pinto, works on the drag, her petticoats flapping like a pair of saddlebags.
Nevada is vast and mainly desert. Andy continues his quest in search of the icons of the great American West. His songs that drift across the monotonous plains stretching between the mountain ranges evoke the men who once rode this arid land, driving vast herds of cattle.
Don't diddle them day, Emily, and a hoop don't diddle them day.
Kelly and Jake embody traditional America. They live on a totally isolated ranch in close touch with nature in its raw state and their livestock. In their own way, they're like Andy, resisting so that the cowboy culture doesn't go the way of the dinosaur.
You know, it makes me feel good to see young folks out here living close to the land and really pursuing this life. You know, I sing these old songs and I'm so interested in this cowboy poetry tradition, and it comes out of this life, and it's really an honor for me to get to know folks who live the life and you know, my hope in the work that I do and in my art is that people like Jake and Kelly would appreciate it and feel honored and respected.
Andy has put a traditional poem to music, the Cowboy Blues. It's his latest composition, and he's going to try it out in front of his friends.
I've always loved the poem because it's just so perfectly kind of tells the story of how people are enamored with the cowboy life and culture, but oftentimes they have a romantic view of it that has little to do with reality. And it's just a really fun story, and there you have it, you know, Chuck Wagon Blues.
Gila monster and a rattlesnake for my pet. And I wanted to eat live scorpions and watch the tender feet sweat. And I wanted to die with my boots on whenever they brought me the news. And I wanted to be a great hero, and now I'm sick with the Chuck Wagon Blues.
Being a cowboy means making sacrifices. Kelly and Jake gave up everything to live in this wild land. They even decided not to have children in order to give all their attention to their livestock. There are not many as impassioned as they are around to carry on the tradition.
At this place, we do everything horseback. It's easier on the cattle. The objective is the lowest stress possible way to raise these animals in a manner befitting to them. We take pride in the horses that we make, in the cattle that we raise, and the horses that we use to raise the cattle. It's a full circle process.
The Star, a good hour's drive away, is the closest bar to Kelly and Jake's ranch. It's an institution in the region, and all the local cowboys gather here to enjoy a drink or two and listen to some music, their music.
One of these days gonna wake up crazy and pack my bags and leave my baby. It ain't nobody's business but my own. Well, it ain't nobody's dirty business. How my baby treats me, it ain't nobody's business but my own.
One of the reasons I love to play music is because I love to travel and the wonderful folks I get to meet, and just the joy of sharing the music with folks who appreciate it. So, you know, I think anybody that picks up a guitar, that's kind of what they're hoping for.
Thank you.
Cowboys have fired people's imaginations the world over through westerns. Hollywood made them heroes. Andy never gets tired of singing their story, as if it were a way to keep the heart of Nevada alive and beating.
I think that'll be a good angle here. Get a little bit closer too. Oh, no, actually, we're good. This is good.
There are some people's dreams that are a bit eccentric, and then there are others that are totally off the wall. Flying like an eagle through the canyons of Nevada, for example.
All right, Ace 2, let's get close to the rocks. All right. Let's have some fun here in these rocks here. Roger.
Of course, there's no more than a handful that make that dream come true. Only a few men, like Tex and Kyle, are capable of playing this kind of game.
Oh, there's a rock right in front of us! How cool is that?
We have more hours in these types of airplanes than probably anyone in the world. So to us, they feel like an extension of our body. You know that sensation when you lose your stomach on a roller coaster, you know, you get that sensation of the stomach coming up. My body is actually immune to that now. I can't feel that sensation anymore. So my body is as accustomed to being upside down as right side up, so it doesn't really react in that way. So I don't think fear is an emotion I feel that much anymore. But I mean, I've done a lot of extreme things for a lot of years. I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie, so it takes a lot to get my pulse going these days.
Las Vegas International Airport, 8 a.m. The entire crew is out on the tarmac to prepare the aircraft for the day's flights with tender, loving care. This airline is nothing like other companies. It's specialized in aerobatics. Tex Coe heads this gang of daredevils. For 11 years, he was part of the Air Force's elite corps of fighter pilots. Kyle Naper, the company's newest recruit, is his most talented pupil.
This airplane can roll at 420 degrees per second, so that's more than a rotation per second. Makes it pretty impressive and definitely eye-watering when you're in the cockpit experiencing that. And then this is a huge rudder for the size of the airplane. You can see that this gives you a lot of ability to yaw the aircraft to make it uncoordinated, so you can make it flip end over end. This rudder allows you to do that. So that's kind of what you got. It's for a pilot, it's about a dream come true. I don't know, you got anything to add, Kyle? What do you think about the extra 330 versus what you flew in your earlier days?
Oh, it's a pretty impressive aircraft as far as the maneuverability, and you know, most people that fly in this thing, they always say that an airplane shouldn't do these things, but for some reason this thing does, and that's what it's designed to do. So it's a pretty impressive aircraft, and it's a luxury to fly in one, actually.
It's a very expensive toy, yes.
I'm gonna go for it.
Women are pretty hard to G-lock.
This airline is not reserved for extreme pilots. It's also a flying school. All the pilots are instructors as well, and the novices are pretty lucky to be learning with them.
I'm passionate about aviation. It's been really good to me, so I like kind of encouraging the next generation of aviation enthusiasts. So this is an exciting part of my job, not just to share the exciting part of flying, like aerobatics that I love so much, and the dogfighting, but actually, you know, kind of helping people plant that seed of you know, wanting to be pilots themselves.
Who wants to volunteer as the first flight? All right.
Texas Flying School also offers initiation flights in aerobatics for the thrill seekers passing through Vegas. Ray here wants to take to the air for a little rush of adrenaline.
Since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a fighter pilot when I grew up.
Really?
But yeah, my eyesight wasn't good enough, so I had to do something else. But so this is a life dream come true.
Put this on like a backpack.
Hope I don't have to use it.
If you do have to use it, however, here's the D-ring, okay?
All right.
All you do is grab it and pull straight out front. Not like this, because you spin around, just pull straight out. A lot of people do two hands.
Mr. Tower, this is Ace 1 request. What we'd like to do is have the 826 Kilo Juliet take off simultaneously on the left. Ace 1 will take off on the right, followed by Ace 2.
Ace 1, delay on the runway approved if you need it. Runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 17 right, Ace 1. What's up, fellas? Look on your right side. All right, we'll sneak up on them on the back side. Smoke on, aileron roll. Smoke off.
For Kyle and Tex, aerobatics is their way of defying death, and they do it with a laugh. A dangerous game, but so very exciting.
Aileron roll. Smoke off. I think we found you.
These two pilots have gone way beyond mere flying expertise. They have completely freed themselves of the technical side of piloting, and with each flight they enter into a very special zone, a space of total freedom. No one else can really comprehend what they're experiencing.
Peace sign, or thumbs up.
On Sundays, when Tex wants to get away from Las Vegas and out into nature, he doesn't take his car. He flies his family and friends to the border of Arizona, the neighboring state.
I've been flying since I was 15 years old. My dad's a pilot, my older brother is a pilot, and he bought a 182 when I was in high school, a Cessna 182. And my mom wanted to learn to fly, and me being a 15-year-old kid said, hey, I'd like to learn to fly too. And I actually learned to fly before I learned to drive, which is kind of funny. So I got my license as soon as I turned 16, which is the youngest age you can actually get your license, and you know, that's kind of how it started.
For Tex, flying is like breathing. Soaring through the air has always been natural for him. Spontaneous and intuitive, his airplanes allow him to get in touch with the elements.
Hey, look, it's a lighthouse. Where? Normal Sunday in the desert Southwest. A little bit of flying, a little bit of boating. What beats that?
You know, there's a lot of people that come to Vegas and all they know about are the casinos and all the bright lights, but there's really just some stunning scenery just outside of the city limits. There's so many outdoor adventures you can have. If you like to hike, if you like to boat, you could actually ski and snowboard 30 minutes out of Las Vegas. People don't know that. So you kind of got year-round activities that are pretty unique around this area. It's not a bad life. Ah! Go the other way, that way. Whoa, not too much. Are you trying to kill us?
Tex and Kyle carry on having fun in the canyons of Las Vegas. But they know the rules of the game. There's no room for error.
Back down we go.
All right, here we go.
Starting from now, let's forget all we know. Let's drift along the river flow. Farewell, you big city blue.
I love this route.
And all the ugly faces I knew.
I love my job. I love my job.
That killed my youth. Starting today, let's do it our own way. Let's walk along the bay.
All right, slow down a little bit too.
Bring it back.
Stay low like that. I'm gonna rejoin on you close.
Roger, we'll move out to the left.
Starting tonight, let's dance to the moonlight.
All right, push it up.
Bringing it in.
Let's play a song
I'm off your right side.
Visual.
and pretend we're strong.
All right, climb it up. All right, come off left.
Left.
Look for any helicopters.
You big
Keeping an
city
eye out.
blue. And all the ugly faces
All right, let's climb it up to 4,000 before we turn back in.
Roger.
Aviation has been a fantastic career for me. I mean, I was kind of headstrong and a little bit rebellious when I was younger, and I felt like the military probably gave me a sense of direction that I would have otherwise lacked. And that's actually been my career for 25 years, and I imagine I'm going to be flying until they take my license away and tell me I'm too old, which hopefully isn't anytime too soon.